The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeated the Carolina Panthers on Saturday, but their playoff fate remains uncertain as they wait for Sunday's results. If the Saints beat the Falcons, the Bucs win the division and claim the number 4 seed in the NFC playoff bracket. However, if Atlanta defeats New Orleans, the Panthers win the division despite Saturday's loss, leaving Tampa Bay watching from home. The Buccaneers have squandered an enormous opportunity in 2025, but they can still salvage a playoff berth in Week 18 with some help. 10 weeks ago, Tampa Bay demolished the Saints 23-3 in New Orleans to enter their Week 9 bye with a 6-2 record and a commanding 2-game lead over Carolina in the division standings. Since that bye week, everything fell apart. The Bucs went 1-7 over those 8 games, stumbling into their season finale against the Panthers with a 7-9 record and sitting a full game behind Carolina in the standings. It's a collapse few could have predicted. Tampa entered as a 3-point home favorite in Saturday's matchup, which kicked off at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with everything on the line for both teams. The playoff clinching scenarios were dramatically different for each team. While the Panthers could clinch with a victory, the Bucs needed not only a win, but also help from an unlikely source, the New Orleans Saints. If Carolina had beaten Tampa Bay, they would have finished the season 2 games ahead and claimed the division outright. But with the Bucs winning Saturday, Tampa Bay and Carolina are now tied at 8-9, creating a complex tiebreaker situation that depends entirely on Sunday's Falcons-Saints result. If the Falcons lose to New Orleans on Sunday, the Bucs win the tiebreaker against Carolina based on their record in common games. The two teams split their head-to-head series and finished with identical division records, so the tiebreaker moves to common games, where Tampa Bay holds the advantage. However, if Atlanta defeats the Saints, it creates a 3-way tie for first place in the NFC South at 8-9. When 3 or more teams tie in the division, the first tiebreaker is best head-to-head record among all the clubs involved. In this 3-way scenario, the Panthers would be 3-1 with 2 victories over the Falcons and 1 over the Bucs. Tampa Bay would be 2-2 with splits against both teams. Atlanta would be 1-3. That means Carolina wins the division without going further down the tiebreaker list, despite losing Saturday's game. The Falcons enter Sunday as 3.5-point home favorites against New Orleans, which doesn't bode well for Tampa Bay's playoff hopes. Atlanta has motivation to finish strong, while the Saints are playing out the string after being eliminated from contention. The NFC standings heading into the weekend showed Seattle at 13-3 leading the conference. Chicago and Philadelphia both sat at 11-6, having already clinched their division titles. San Francisco was 12-4, Los Angeles held 11-5, and Green Bay rounded out the current playoff teams at 9-6-1. The NFC South standings revealed just how chaotic this division became. Carolina sat at 8-8 entering Saturday, while both Tampa Bay and Atlanta were 7-9. New Orleans brought up the rear at 6-10. The Buccaneers must now become reluctant Saints supporters for one day, hoping New Orleans can pull off the upset against Atlanta. It's a humbling position for a team that controlled their own destiny just 10 weeks ago with a comfortable division lead. This collapse will haunt Tampa Bay if they miss the playoffs. Going 1-7 down the stretch after sitting at 6-2 is almost unprecedented, and the coaching staff will face serious questions about what went wrong during this catastrophic slide. This is USA Today News with your complete NFC South coverage. Subscribe to our channel and enable notifications for all the latest playoff updates and Sunday's division-deciding game results.